First off, I'm very thrilled to be here with everybody today. I really do appreciate the opportunity to share my story and my journey. It has been unique, and it has been a truly path-altering journey. Um, to say a little bit about my past, I started in the field of corrections in 1998. So if you're counting, that's a long time ago. um, I was taking a semester off from law school, and somebody talked me into working at a state prison. It was an interesting conversation, but for some reason I fell for it. And I never went back to school. I found almost a purpose, just a true purpose in being there. And I want to say, to start, it was the brotherhood, the kinship of the people working there and doing the work. But after 5 years, 5 very hard years, by then I was married and had my first kid and my second on the way, and my wife got really tired of picking me up in the emergency room. I was working at one of the most notorious correctional facilities in the state of Texas. And one day she found me passed out on the floor of the emergency room, bleeding. And it shook her. And she said, this is not where we're going. This is not what we're going to do. So we decided to make a change, and we made a change to the federal system because I still believed in my mission. Definitely still believed in what I did, and having a greater effect than just yourself. So joined the Federal Bureau, uprooted my entire life from Texas, moved to Arkansas, knew absolutely no one, and started the journey here. That has been almost 20 years. Found my way back to Texas and found my more precise mission in life. I now run a vocational program. My title is the factory manager for Correctional Prison Industries. And what we do is we teach the inmates real marketable job skills. In my particular factory, we're a fleet factory. We build law enforcement vehicles to support Homeland Security, and all of its agencies, Border Patrol, DHS, TSA, you name it, Fish and Wildlife. So we build federal law enforcement vehicles, and we are teaching the inmates skills that are just, beyond resourceful or useful when they get out. Clerical positions, AutoCAD, welding, and the list goes on and on. Paint and body, automotive wiring. So this has been my true mission in life. First off, I'm a car guy. In my off time, I build race cars for close friends. So it perfectly aligned. God will provide you the path. All right. He gave me a chance to do and marry the two things that I really enjoyed doing, which was helping, and helping people reform and find a better way in life, and then also joining my passion and my hobby. That was 15 years ago. It was 15 years ago. And as Katarina had said, 3 years ago, I started the coaching program with GWU. It came out via email, didn't say much, didn't lead to much. It was just kind of one of those blind faith deals. When I opened the email, I was like, this is for me. I have no idea why, but this was for me. And I knew it because I submitted it the same day and went and talked to my boss and said, I'm not sure what coaching is. I'm not sure what it means, but I just know that this is something I want to do. He got a good laugh out of that. And like I said, the rest is kind of the story. Um, so the pandemic hits, God, Katerina, what was it, like a month after orientation? A month after orientation, the pandemic absolutely obliterates the United States and especially the prison system. We go on complete lockdown. I am trying to make my way into my private one-on-one coaching sessions with Beth Tuttle, and I can't even get out of the housing unit because we're on lockdown and we're in such a serious security moment that I can't make my appointments. And it dawned on me that's like, you know, if I don't make time for this, it's not going to happen. Okay. And I didn't even understand the value of it. This was, like I said, this was a true blind faith. I just knew it was for me, but I still had no idea why it was for me. I want to say it was 3 months later, we had a national lockdown due to the growing security concerns over the George Floyd incident. And this really, it really rocked my core. You know, as a law enforcement officer, as a federal law enforcement officer, of at this time 19 or so years, I was ashamed. For the first time, I was ashamed that I held a badge. I was ashamed to go to work. I was ashamed to put on my vest every day and my uniform and go to work, because whether you agree with it or not, whether the political side of it, you know, irregardless, the fact of it was we had shown as a nation a lack of respect and a lack of community. And during that first moment with Ina, where she showed Otto Scharmer's TED Talk and that sense of community and how he talks about being in the streets and the cops started firing tear gas upon their crowd. He says, I was not physically harmed, but as a part of the community, I hurt the way everyone hurt. And I think that's how it kind of hit me, was, you know, as a human, to watch someone lose their life over relatively nothing at the end of the day. It made me struggle. And I really dove in with Beth. And we were kind of discussing beforehand, it was very difficult to be in a prison setting doing coaching where your coach is asking you to take off your boots. Your boots, part of your uniform, part of what protects you as a law enforcement officer, to take off your vest, you know, the thing that's going to keep a knife out of me, to take off this security equipment. It was so bizarre to me that it actually led me to black out the windows in the office, drop the shades, lock the door. I was uncomfortable. And in that moment, I realized I've been packing on all this armor my whole career to protect me from what? To protect me from another human being who may or may not want to do harm to me. And then I thought about the flip side of this. How does that appear? How am I showing up if I'm walking in to have a conversation with you, and you know, I may mean to have a total normal conversation, but can we have a normal conversation if I'm here in combat boots and a vest and radio and tear gas on my hip and handcuffs? Can we have a normal conversation? Or am I bringing barriers that do not allow us to interact as two normal people? So I spent the rest of the year really throwing myself into the coaching program and really dropping all of the armor. And it took some time. When you've worn it for that long, I realized that the physical armor was not near as tough to drop as the metaphorical armor. I had blocked off my heart, my mind, my soul, everything. I was not going to let someone hurt me. And Beth just did such a wonderful job of completely breaking that down. And to the point where I could physically feel the weight come off of my body as I sat there through these meetings. It was the most transformational thing I've ever done in my life. But as she's sitting there talking and we're doing centering exercises, and I can feel as she's talking the armor off of me, I can feel myself lighten up. It's okay. And now I'm ready to accept. Now I'm ready to accept conversation. I'm ready to share feelings. I'm ready to share insights and creativity. So it really was just an amazing experience that I dove in and decided to become a coach myself. Ina provided me a great opportunity. I seized it, and now I love the fact that I am able to give back in this way, to your community, to other communities, friends, family, anybody that's willing to listen. It's been a wonderful deal. So that's kind of, in a nutshell, the journey. Obviously there was a lot more to it, but for the sake of time, I will tell you the one thing that me and Katerina discussed when I think we were doing a recording one time, and her and Ina were blown away at the fact that during the pandemic, I have TV screens throughout my factory on the walls. It's how I share information with all of my workers. And on these screens, I took off all the information during COVID. Absolutely took off all the information about making sure that you work hard and that you're hitting your quotas and your goals and safety, and took all of those messages down. I put up pictures of puppies, kittens, waterfalls, streams, you name it, if it made you feel good. And then we would just type in simple words that say, breathe, take a moment. How does this make you feel? Reflect. I mean, just simple one word, couple of words worth of inspiration to get you to pause during your day and to ensure that you are well. And that's all that played during COVID. For the better part of a year and a half, beautiful little wrinkled up pug puppies and kittens, and people were just like, what are we doing here? This is a prison. What are we doing? And I said, well, we're making sure that our fellow humans are in a place of mental strength. That's what we're doing. Because life is hard enough. And if life wasn't hard enough, life incarcerated is definitely hard enough. And if that isn't hard enough for you, life incarcerated and a COVID pandemic and a social injustice in the environment in the community is definitely more than any one man should bear. So we don't need to pile on. That's what we're doing here. And that was my explanation to the powers that be about why I had puppies and kittens and everything. It's like, it's entirely too much. It would be entirely too much for one man to stand. And so let's try to disarm. Let's try to bring it down a level and teach these people it's okay to take a moment, take a breath, realize, have those realizations that yeah, things are a little crazy, but relax and we'll get through it. So that was a wonderful thing that came out of the program.
Thank you, Michael.